We are live. Okay. It's asking me something for X. Let me see what it's gonna say. so so what we're gonna do is go ahead and get started. And this is a powerful, really powerful because if you have not seen the the content, the the posts that I put out with the image with all seven of the different money um, builder from money builder or descriptors. So let's say descriptors, because there's identity to each one, then this is something you need to go back to. You need to go back to the post and then this will even make greater sense to you because it really matters knowing having that information and insight. So let's roll. So the thing is, why you struggle with money, and part of the channel is why you struggle and you know what to do. Because I'm Johnny, the Mindset Maven, helping you bridge the gap between what you know and what you do. And that gap, because of my expertise and my financial acumen, is really money, business, all of those areas, life, relationships, those areas. However, it is definitely connected to mindset, is directly aligned to pocket, what you have in your pocket, the wealth you desire to build. So that is the key, and that is the direction we're going to go in. And I encourage you to share this with others, as well as coming back and looking at it as you need to move forward, because this is about awareness and then moving forward. So let's rock and roll. See, even though I say asking the question that most people are asking, a lot of people are asking, especially right now, is why do they struggle with money? So I want you to know money is not just math, it's connected to our identity. I'm going to say that again. Money is not just math, it is math, but it's not just math. So there's a tip. If you're having an issue with the math, bringing those things together, you either getting more income, legally, moral, and ethical, right? Because we don't want anything other than that. And the other side of that, of course, is bringing down your expenses. In knowing what is your foundational expenses, what you must have, shelter, food, those kind of things, and then stepping it up and saying, okay, I have resources for this, or I need to pay off this. There's only two ways to work that. When you are short, is to gain more money, legal, more, and ethical, or to decrease your expenses. And that'll help you bridge the gap, regardless of what your numbers are. I mean, that part of money is math. But however, when you talk about what your struggle is, that goes beyond math. It goes to identity. And that's what we're going to concentrate on today, is the various forms of identity. So let me ask you a question. What if the reason you still struggle with money is, we know it ain't because you're lazy, right? Is it because you're irresponsible? Or incapable? Everybody is capable. Um, so it's not that. What if the problem is, like I said, you're asking the wrong question? So the why do I struggle with money question? Because that sounds more judgmental, to be honest with you. Anytime we ask ourselves why we do a thing, there is some element of judgment typically attached to that. there are some other negative connotations that's attached to that. And those things normally cause people to think that the answer is outside of themselves instead of looking and saying, what can I do in this moment? Right? The right response. Because the better question is, what identity pattern is leading my money decisions? What identity, and listen to the word pattern, that is leading your money decisions? That is a critical point, because money is rarely just about math. Remember, it is about math. It's normally not just about math. It's bigger than math, because money reveals our identity, our belief system, our fears, our wounds. Money reveals where we perform, where we rescue, where we survive, where we rebel, and where we build. And rebel just pops out to me. People say, no, I don't rebel. Sometimes people say, somebody may say, well, you can't do this. And you say, oh, yes, I can. And you go do it. That's a form of rebellion. You're going to prove to others that you can have it or do it or release it or spend it or whatever, right? Or you look at your budget and your budget tells you, and you say, oh, no, I'm going to do it anyway. I work hard every day. However, is it for yourself or is this for other people's opinion? What is it about? What is the rebellion connected to? And when we become, the key again here is to become aware of the pattern. Because when you are aware of the pattern, then you become empowered to make a different decision. Now, whether you make that other decision, that's on you. However, you now know, and you cannot unknow what you know. You can ignore what you know. However, that doesn't eliminate the fact that you know it, right? Because we know truth from a lie. You can do anything you want to with it if it's a lie, right? But you still know it's a lie. You can trick yourself or your brain into saying, oh, this is truth. And your brain will eventually say, okay, this is your truth. But deep down inside, we still know that there's a disconnect. And when we get beyond looking at just what others have said or done or what others are walking into in our awareness, when we walk into and we realize what our patterns are, that is where transformation begins. Because you have awareness. So now you're able and empowered to transform. When you know a name to what you're dealing with, you can say, okay, this is that's popping up. So many times being triggered by certain things. And you say, okay, I'm being triggered. How do I move past the trigger, because I'm not going to sabotage what I desire because of this trigger? So today we're going to walk through, we're going to walk through 4 for sure. And there's a total of 7. So again, in the chat, when you look at it, please let me know if you want more information about the others, because those, I don't want this to be so long that in too much information that is overwhelming. Okay. So let's roll. So let's talk about the money performer, the money avoider. There's the money rescuer, the money survivor, the rebel, the money drifter, and then, of course, the money builder. Because the goal is not just to make more money. The goal is to become the kind of person who can manage money with stability, character, integrity, stewardship, ownership, and legacy. To live and leave a legacy. this is stability before the strategy. This is helping build identity because identity decides. Identity decides before the action actually begins. And this is about identity before wealth. This is how we move our old patterns away and we step into our destiny. So, however, as we listen to this, each money identity that I'm going to address, and as you go through the form and you look at the posts, it is not to step into shame, blame, is to reclaim your power to move forward. That is the key. So do not ask, what is wrong with me? Don't ask that question for yourself. That's not the question. Ask what pattern is trying to protect me, to prove me, to hide me, or to control me. That's the real question. Because when we name the real question and identify the pattern, then we get a chance to make a difference. So let's talk a little bit about money performer. So these are some questions to ask yourself to confirm if this is you, if this is you. And you may see yourself in several of these, but which one is the one that you primarily work in? And just watch yourself over the next 30 days and just watch yourself and say, I see that this one is the number one, right? So these are the questions. Do I spend to look successful? Do I purchase things because I want people to see me differently? Do I reward myself before I'm stable? And that's just a question of, do you purchase and not consider how you're going to pay for it? Or do you take your resources that could be available and maybe need to be available for a requirement, something that's needed, and you're buying a desire or want? The hidden identity wound here is needing people to see that you're enough. Many people are buying things for that. They're buying validation. They're buying belonging. They're buying approval. They're buying significance. So how can, and this is the question, how can I look more successful? That's not the right question, right? The right question is, what do I need? Why do I need external proof to feel like I'm enough? Why do I need external proof? I'm not saying just because you have a name brand or just because you have red bottoms or just because whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, what is the purpose of it? And then how is the rest of your life set up? Because remember, this is about building wealth. So is it about you don't feel like you're enough? So the right question that we can go back into again is, or the statement, I guess I want to say, is you do not need to perform wealth to be stable. Remember, we're talking about the money performer. You don't need to perform it just to be it. Because the best money I've seen, and I call it old money, when people walk in and you said, oh yeah, oh yeah, you can look, but they may not have flashy, they may have very subtle, but when you know quality, or they carry themselves a certain way because they know who they are and they don't need to prove it. So you are bold, brave, and brilliant. What you have on your body is important because we do want you to wear something. However, it doesn't necessarily have to be name brand. Does it? That's the question. Let's shift into the money builder. Um, so the pause before every non-essential purchase. That's one of the things that you can to become a money builder. Before you make any purchase, just pause and ask yourself, is this essential? Am I buying it for alignment or insecurity? Because your value existed before the purchase. You're valuable whether you purchase it or not. And this is a moment that is, they say this is an aha moment. I'm believing this is an aha moment for you. Looking wealthy and being stable are not the same thing. So, again, we're going to step into the next one. And I just want you to take a breath and say, each money identity, I want you to listen to it without blaming or shaming yourself. This is information and revelation. It's for awareness. It's so that you can make decisions that will help you help you build on your wealth journey. Let's go like that. On your wealth journey of building wealth, these things will matter. And so these are the questions to ask yourself. Do I avoid my bank account under the avoider? Do I avoid my bills? Do I tell myself I look better? Do I feel anxious when I think about money? Normally the hidden wound here, not in every case, but in a lot of cases, is I don't look. If I don't look, then I don't have to feel. If I don't look at my bank account, if I don't look and see that whatever happened, then I don't need to feel it. If I don't notice it, if I don't look and see that my balance is negative or whatever, or track it, then it doesn't exist. No, that's not how that works. That's not how it works. Because avoidance to you, if this is you, avoidance feels safe. But avoidance is delayed pressure. So the wrong question here is, how do I stop feeling stress? The right question here is, what truth am I avoiding? And the right response is avoidance is not providing you peace. It's delayed pressure. So to shift into the money builder area, what this type would do is choose one truth today. Not everything. Just choose one thing. Just one. One open statement. Review one account. Look at one number. Truth is the doorway to freedom. Truth is the doorway to your freedom. The aha moment, is you cannot build peace by hiding from reality. It just doesn't. You cannot build peace by hiding from reality. So let's do the next one. Again, this is about awareness. I want you to listen without blaming or shaming yourself. I want you to look at these and see where you're at so that you can build wealth at the next level. where once you identify something, you can move forward in an area of your life that will make all the difference. Because remember this, stewardship is rewarded. Now, as a believer, I know managing my resources, my time, my energy, my wealth, my health, right? Y'all know I've been doing my thing. So, my health, all of those things is part of my stewardship. And that's all this is. Greater stewardship, you'll see more money coming in, you'll see more money staying with you, you'll see more building of wealth, more greater decisions that you're making in alignment with what you say you want. Most people don't say, you know what? They're going to get up tomorrow and they don't want any money in their bank account. They don't normally say that. Most people want to walk in an area of abundance. However, abundance is aligned to a certain type of pattern because people have gotten money and not been able to keep it because their patterns were never altered or changed, or they became aware in advance of getting the money. And a lot of people say this. I've had, because I do financial literacy classes as well. And the person says, well, when I win or when I get, this huge amount of money, then I'm going to start looking at and start doing this and start doing, and put quotes around that, air quotes, the right thing. No, you do the right thing now because you want to build that muscle. You want to do it now because you'll build a new pattern. So when that does happen, whatever it is, or as you grow and make money, you have a pattern that aligns with who you are. So anyway, let's go to the next one. So do not ask what's wrong with you. You know what? You stand in the mirror and you said, what's wrong with? And you usually say me, right? That is such a hard question. The pattern, again, it's about the pattern. So what pattern is trying to protect you, to control you, to hide? Because you can name, when you can name the pattern, you can begin to lead it. So we're going to go to the money rescuer. Money rescuer. So ask yourself, do I pay for everyone? You're sitting at the table with your girlfriend and y'all both went out for dinner or whatever. And they say, will it be one check or two? And you say, she's not saying anything. Or friend, guy friend, whatever. The other person's not saying anything. There's quiet. And so to break the quiet, you say, oh, just one check. Separate works. Oh, that'll be separate. And you can split because we both had the appetizer or whatever, you can split that in half or whatever. So you see what I'm saying? You don't need to pay for everybody. Sometimes based on the family dynamics, sometimes people expect a certain person to do that. When that has been the history, announce to the people, hey, I know when we normally go out, I pay. I'm not going to be paying today. Or, let people know in front, I won't be paying today. Because sometimes it could be awkward when the person always pays. And then people get to the bill and they thinking, hey, I'll just pack up my stuff and go. Yeah, I want that to go, pack up my stuff, whatever. And then the person comes back and says, ma'am, here's your check. And they say, huh? Don't try to hurt nobody. So you might want to let people know. Hey, the waitress from the beginning, say, hey, I got me and or I have their check, my check and their check, or just my check, and make my check alone. So now the table heard it. Okay. And I don't know how they want their checks captured, but mine is just one. So they can order according to, I'm just saying. Why do you feel guilty saying no? I used to feel like that. So we're not going to have that conversation. But it's the truth. It's true. I used to feel guilty saying no, and I had to explain. I realized no is a full sentence with a period on it. Do I become everyone's emergency plan? I'm aware of how to do that. It's not a good place to be because typically when you're everyone else's emergency plan, you don't have an emergency plan. I mean, most people don't have it like that, that they're taking care of everybody and they have a lot for themselves because it seems like everybody else's emergencies always show up. And this is not about family. This friends is not about any of this. It's about boundaries. It's about building wealth. It's about knowing who you are. And if you are a rescuer, these are some of the things that impact you when it comes to your money decisions. Like, do you secretly feel resentful afterwards? You did it, but now you're like, I can't believe they, because you resent what happened. So let's talk about the hidden identity wounds that could be connected to the rescuer. Some people have been taught that if they say no, then they're not loving, they're not compassionate, or you're better off than everybody else, honey, so you need to take care of it. And that's a huge one, especially for caregivers and leaders and parents, women, people who are helpers, and even people that build the kingdom. So when you're like that and you think, I can't say no, or I need to do certain thing, and it's from the perspective of you need to rescue or others, look and see why. What's the connection? And so this is the question for this type of person that is dealing with rescuing others. So the question that you could ask yourself is, how can I help? How can I help everyone? Is the wrong question, right? That's the wrong question. The right question is, how can I help without harming myself? You can put your family in there, whatever, or putting pressure on yourself. How can I help? At what level can I help without, listen to that word, without harming myself? And part of the response is love without boundaries. And there's this great book on Have Boundaries, Find Peace. Is by Nedra Tawwab, I think is her name. Amazing book on boundaries. So love without boundaries becomes a financial leakage. It's like having a bucket with a hole in it, or having anything with a hole in it. It keeps seeping out. However, with boundaries are there to protect the person that's established the boundary. And other people don't have to agree with your boundary. However, it is something that you're responsible for protecting. That's not mean. That's not callous. That's not what that is. It's knowing who you are if you're a rescuer and establishing boundaries so that you can thrive. So let's shift into the money builder. What are the things that you, before getting to X, that will help you shift into the money builder? One is this helping or rescuing? Because healthy generosity has boundaries. It does. It has boundaries. So the aha moment is you can be loving without becoming everybody's safety net. So this is at 30 minutes. So I want to you to take a breath. I'm going to jump right into the seventh one. And if you are either the, because we've done money performer, money rescuer, um, and money avoider. And we didn't do survivor, we didn't do drifter, and we haven't really touched rebel. So if those are yours, just put something in the comment chat and I'll do a separate short specifically on that one. Okay. So, but I don't want to do this without talking about the money builder, because that's the core truth. To manage money as stewardship, stability, ownership, and legacy. Okay, so we're going to get close to moving this forward so we can shut this down, because I respect y'all time and I appreciate y'all being here. So this is where you're becoming, and it's not a set of perfection. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's not someone who has never made mistakes, because I think all of us have, and I know I have. Errors and mistakes. Errors and mistakes. It's not about any of that. A money builder actually says, I manage money as stewardship, stability, ownership, and legacy. A money builder, which is what I'm driving, and that's part of my identity, is truth over avoidance, boundaries over leakage, stability over performance. And I want to just say this, is that doesn't mean I don't wear nice things. I do. Okay, I do. But I don't have any debt. I don't have any debt except properties. I do property stuff. So I have that debt there, and I'm believing for 100%. Praise the Lord. No debt anywhere. However, it's not about performance. It's about rhythm over drifting. It's about stewardship over survival. And the other thing that I do is because I love and enjoy the way I shop and pick up things. I pick up things for other people sometimes, that kind of thing. It's typically cash, and I pay everything off at the end of the month. So, excuse me. Excuse me. So consider that. Consider, and I release things. Right? So I purge. So it's not just about getting nice things and holding on to everything because I like nice things. It's about, what is the benefit of it? What are you going to wear it to? What is the purpose of it? So when you go out and you shop or do whatever you do, or you're doing things, so what is the purpose of it? So it's stewardship, not survival. And it's legacy over any temporary approval. And the new identity declaration here is, I don't chase wealth from instability. I build wealth from alignment. I want you to hear this. You are not your money mistakes. I made some. You are not your debt. You are not your avoidance. You are not your past. You are not your survival story. You are not your performance. That's not. You're not your fear. You are becoming something new. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this. You are becoming a money builder. And remember, this is not about becoming wealthy first. This is about becoming stable first, because stability creates confidence, creates peace, creates consistency, creates alignment, creates stewardship, creates a legacy. And a legacy outlives money. So today, don't ask, How do I make more money? Ask the question, who am I becoming with the money that already flows into my hands? It's a start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can, right? It's the Shamgar principle. Who am I becoming with the money that already flows through my hands? That's an accountability statement. That's a stewardship statement. That's a I love me regardless of what I have on kind of statement. That's a I am not identified by what's externally. I am identified by my internal rhythm and alignment in my life because I know who I am. The answer to the question of who you are for alignment can change your entire life. I am Johnnie, the Mindset Maven. And remember, you don't have to perform well to be stable. Choose stability before strategy. Choose identity before. And the wrong question is not why you're always behind. The wrong question is not what you don't have. The right question is, what are you doing with what you have in your hand? And who are you becoming? What vessel to be able to hold, to be able to build the pattern and have the pattern established to build and grow wealth, to become, as you continue to walk out your journey, to become a money builder. And money builder is not just about money, because wealth is more than money. It's your health, it's your mindset, it's your relationships, all of those things. So keep that in mind as you move forward. And I just want to ask you to share, to subscribe to the channel, to always ask me questions, y'all. And then to move forward from there so that you know that you matter. You know that no matter where you start, that is not your ending. That is only a line in some people's case, or a chapter, or a paragraph, but it is not your ending. As long as you're breathing, you have a chance to shift your pattern, to be a better steward, to be more trustworthy, and to build a pattern that literally allows you to manage more wealth. So, thank you. Have an amazing day. And go back and listen to this and ask questions for clarity. Look at the post and see where you fall into. And then when you identify it, no judgment, gain clarity, and then make better decisions.